Namaskar. If there is so much suffering in the world, terrible things, how to have faith in God? How to have faith also in theory of karma? But without faith, also life becomes dark. These were the words of one of our subscribers, and he asked me to record the video on this topic. Suffering is a very personal thing. Ideas of good and bad is also very personal. If you analyze, you will see that morality itself evolves from the feeling of pleasure and pain. At the very undeveloped stage, understanding of good and bad concerned with this present moment and concerned with your pleasure and pain. There is one joke about morality of simple people, undeveloped people. If I have stolen a horse, if I have hijacked a wife, it is good. If someone stolen a horse from me and hijacked my wife, it is bad. So good and bad is like that. You don't keep in mind the long-term effect on your consciousness. Only this particular moment. If it is pleasurable, it is good. But more developed morality, it is concerned what action, what kind of impact in the long term this action has on my mind, whether this action makes me more happy person or more suffering person. And what this action, what kind of impact this action has on my environment. Does it make my environment happier and in return also more respectful to me? Or it deteriorates my environment? So slowly, out of pain and pleasure, when the mind evolves and expands, the entire idea of morality comes. We study our happiness and we understand that to be happy, we should not lie, we should not kill, not steal, and so on. So I wanted to say that pain and our understanding of good and bad is very subjective. We don't see the cosmic perspective. Like in childhood, I was very sorry for the dinosaurs to go extinct. They were so nice, no? They were going on. There is one song I heard, some children's song. It was going like this. They moved through the land, being awesome and grand, fabulous dinosaurs. They were dumb and slow. They couldn't go with the flow. Their brains were small and they died. So, in the evolutionary perspective, the extinction of dinosaurs was good because they made room for us. And through evolutionary struggle caused by that cataclysmic event which caused the extinction, it has triggered a new species, a new development on this planet Earth. So also I want to say about factors of evolution. There are three factors how we develop. Develop means moving from darkness to light, from suffering to happiness. That's development, real, true development. So three factors are there. With their help, we approach the state of God. We come closer to consciousness. Number one is the physical conflict. What is physical conflict? Is the interaction of energy with matter. Like in this stone, the structure, the physical structure is so simple, so there is not much interaction. But when we talk about organic life, the cell of the body is so complex. The interaction of energy with matter is very, very tight and very strong. I will give you another example, more understandable. Here is the phone. Maybe 150 grams, something like that. But what's the difference between stone and this one? This stone is big, but this is infinitely more complex than the stone. There are so many transistors and microchips there. So what are those transistors? They are the matter organized in such a way so when the energy moves there, that movement of energy through that complicated physical structure produce, so to say, consciousness. This phone can do so many great things. Okay? So physical conflict is this interaction of energy with matter. The more complex the organism is, the more intricate that interaction of energy with that matter. And that interaction produces crude form of consciousness, crude form of mind rather, is called chitta, ectoplasmic stuff. Then this is how we develop. And then the more of that mind stuff we have, basically we can maintain more development of the mind. So it is like a basic level. So we always try to increase the complexity of our body. How? By following proper diet, by doing exercise, by harmonizing the body, and most importantly, by doing meditation, because you are increasing the complexity of your brain structure by reading the books and so on. Your brain becomes thicker, the gray matter becomes thicker. So you increase that, in this area, very complex area, the interaction of energy and matter and production of more mind stuff. Then another, in yogic theory, another force of evolution is psychic clash. It's the clash of feelings, clash of ideas within you. I will now tell you, there is suffering in life, okay? There is pain. Suffering is the subjective perception of pain. You may have pain but may not suffer also. It's up to you. Suffering is a choice. But then I can teach you how to endure pain with the maximum benefit to yourself. How to suffer in such a way that you evolve very quickly. There is this idea of psychic conflict. Two opposite ideas clash within the mind. It's like you tie with a rope 5 people and the rope is very tight. Then these people will fight within that rope. And then while fighting, they're making this bondage loose and they liberate themselves from this. So something like that happens also when in the mind there is this very strong conflict of the ideas. It is going on. So many times when we have conflict, but we can just suffer. Like for example, somebody hurt me and I feel very angry and I feel tempted to go 100% into the dark side of the force. With all my fury, with all my anger, with all my hatred, just to turn my mind into that toxic, concentrated flow. That will degenerate my mind, because I totally surrender to the crude idea. But if you want to evolve, there is a crude idea, let's say that's anger within you. And anger is just, you forget everything good about everybody and remember everything bad about everybody. So that's your temptation. But you keep in your mind spiritual ideals. No, the world can be bad. I will remain good. I will follow my principles of morality. And then your anger will say, no, 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 no. What morality? These people are immoral, you want to be moral? So there is fight within. As the result of that fight, a subtle mind is produced. And that subtle mind is capable to evolve further by third factor of evolution. Third factor of evolution is attraction of the great. People are attracted to something which coincides with their vibration. Some people want to drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes. Why? Because it coincides with the mind. The mind is like that, so it is attracted there. Intellectual people, they are attracted more to ideas. They don't mind so much material things. They don't like to go with the prestige and things like that. But they love to be with ideas. And spiritual people, they are attracted by consciousness. They are attracted by bliss consciousness, by this cosmic intelligence, cosmic intuition, basically by God. They are attracted. So when the mind becomes subtle, it feels that attraction of the great. And that attraction, when you think, as you think, so you become. When you think about divine, you slowly, slowly move towards divine. So when you know all these things, you see in a different way all the suffering, all the terrible situations that happen in the world. And we have to keep in mind also karma. Everything happens in a benevolent way. What is karma? It's like you are pushing some springs inside my mind. I do action. That action sends to the world some suffering. And by that action, I have distorted the world and I have distorted my mind. So when my mind, in that distorted stance, it's constantly suffering. Maybe it is noticing, maybe it is not noticing, but it is like sometimes when you are very crude, you're like anesthetized. That crudeness doesn't allow you to really feel that suffering, but you are really suffering actually. Not very much aware, but you do suffer. So mind seeks the liberation from suffering. So to eject the suffering from within the mind leads you to experience pain or pleasure in the external world. So you go and experience it. So in that way, you perceive suffering as a good. Why? What is the result of suffering? The result of suffering, if you drink your cup of pain, after drinking that cup, what is the result? Understanding, realization. If you have stepped on a wreck many, many times, then finally you change your attitude. Finally you change your strategy. And then you don't suffer anymore. And then it's like, what? Why? Why I didn't do like this before? Because you couldn't. It looks like we are free, but we are not free. The world is free, but my mind is my prison. So the mind will force me to suffer different situations, and I cannot understand. So there is one way like this, just suffer, then you will understand something. Or another way, you follow the spiritual teachings and try to understand without suffering. Still, sometimes people cannot understand. Why? When people don't understand? It is said that God can forgive any kind of sin, any kind of demerit. Only one demerit God does not forgive. What is that? Pride. When you are proud, what is pride? What is ego? Ego is I want, I don't want. I place in the center my desires, my emotions. That is ego. And the feeling that I am right. People will tell you, look, don't be so egoistic. No, I choose myself. I choose myself. This is kind of toxic new phrase, from modern so-called psychology, which is nothing but a deceptive teachings. In some psychology, they say like this: I choose myself. You're already egoistic. You need to choose your higher self. You need to choose the principles of morality that will cure you. But you are choosing your emotions and desires. You're choosing your anger. You're choosing your greed, whatever. And what is pride? What is ego? Ego is when you feel I'm right. So what to do with that person? Nothing to do. This person cannot learn. He doesn't have any authority. No teachers, no friends. Everybody is underdeveloped. Oh, look at those people. Look at those people. What they are. They're stupid. Spiritual. What kind of spiritual you are? You don't have any money. So this kind of, so they cannot learn. There is no any authority. There is no any source where they can drink the medicine from. only they listen to those people who coincide with their desires, like those people who support them in their fallacy. Those are good people. So with those people, God has a very healing instrument. It's a divine big stick. With that big, huge stick, or you can say hammer, he just goes and ta-da! Not because of punishment. No such thing as punishment. But of love. Because everybody ultimately is so good. And God wants to see everyone happy. Everyone he wants to see blissful. But because of ego, person is unable to learn, unable to progress. Rather, they degenerate. In the world, there is no standing on one place. There is only progress or degeneration. Progress or degeneration. So if you stop progressing, you start degenerating. So due to ego, due to feeling I am right, disciple never thinks I am right. He thinks that I know nothing. So because of this feeling I am right, my worldview is the best view of all. The progress stops, degeneration starts. Because due to these false ideas in the mind, false priorities in the mind, human being will do so many mistakes, create so many karma. So to stop that, God takes out big stick, big hammer, and then ta-da! And then person becomes, wow, oh, thank you very much. I had many students like that. They come, they say, Dada, what I did, you cannot imagine. I cannot imagine what I did in my life. What kind of nonsense person I was. Luckily, really, God has created such a situation. I was shaken. I was totally shaken. To me also happened like this. My very, very best friend really betrayed me so deeply betrayed me, stole from me and things like that. And I was so disappointed in myself, in my inability to see that coming of my stupid infatuation with that kind of friendship, which was not friendship actually. I was so disappointed with this kind of friends, and so it shook me very much and jolted me. Suddenly forced me to change my lifestyle completely. So that's a big stick of God. So many people, they say, Dada, really, it was so painful, but I was also so grateful for that because it has directed me on the proper path. Yeah. So everything in this universe, this karmic machine is set up so perfectly. No suffering in the world exists for no reason. Everything happens because it has to happen. Because sometimes people ask, what about children? What about suffering of the children? Child is born with some kind of sickness. That is also, if you understand the past lives. In the past life, person has created distortion in the mind. And now to be free from that inner suffering, there has to be external suffering. And the person goes through that redemption process. It goes from rectifying the mind. So, and then also, so everything in the world is love, actually. Even Baba Nam Kevalam, one of translation, we say love is all there is. And then people sometimes ask, they say, but what about like serial killers? Are they also love is all there is? I was impressed with, there was some experiment in India. There is one practice, Vipassana. They are doing like kind of awareness meditation. Awareness of the body, of the breath, for many days. Just making mind quiet. And they went to prison, to very notorious kind of criminals, and offered this course. And they are there for like 20 years, whole life, nothing to do. So why not? Let's do meditation also. So after 10 days of the course, they were coming out crying, hugging each other, hugging their, the guards, and everybody was so surprised. Because due to our sins, due to our wrong actions, we distort our mind. And that distortion makes us into villains. But underneath that very tiny crust of distortion, deep within, we are full of love. I believe fundamentally every human being is good. But due to glandular imbalance, hormonal imbalance, which is also due to karma, due to defective beliefs, due to defective mental patterns, people become villain. But if you direct them on the proper path, they will become good. Buddha had a disciple, and his disciple was what? Angulimal. He vowed to kill 100 royalty. So he would kill some prince or king and cut the finger and make into necklace. So he had this Anguli, the fingers, necklace, mala. And then he wanted to kill Buddha, but Buddha, with his peaceful attitude, calm, fearless, he just changed his mind, transformed his mind. And then he surrendered, he became disciple. Then he went for redemption to the people and accepted, well, you know, I have done all these nonsense things. And people were hating him, spitting on him, throwing stones at him. And he was just welcoming it, accepting it. Yes, I deserve it, I deserve it. And then finally he got purified and he became great disciple of Buddha. So in the world, everything is truly love. But there is a process of evolution. And to come to that, it's like a boiling pot. And the consciousness is evaporating from that boiling soup. So we are boiling here, but the consciousness is appearing. So our civilization becomes more complex, more humane. It becomes more spiritual also, more intellectual, more spiritual. So in my opinion, everything I see in the world supports my spiritual faith. Everything I see, I believe, is only because God is pure love. It is impossible to believe that God anything else. Yeah. So thank you very much. Come sometimes for our yoga monastery in the retreat. You can also subscribe to our Telegram channel. You will get more content there. Write in the comments what you think about this topic. Yeah. I will leave the links to our yoga monastery in Sweden to meditate with monks and to be in the field of consciousness, and to Ananda Sambhuti Center in India. It is really fantastic spiritual center, and we are having retreats also there. So thank you very much. Namaskar. Dear friends, because of your donations and contributions and support, our project can grow. I am able to record the useful videos about spirituality, meditation, inspiration, etc. Those who want to support us, you can find the link in the description of this video. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.